Hello, Sangha. Welcome to the Abbots Address. Today is Thursday, December 8th, 2016. So, happy Bodhi Day. Happy Bodhi Day. Yes, this is actually a thing. Bodhi Day is the day when the Buddhist community writ large, generally acknowledges and celebrates the awakening of our founding teacher, Siddhartha Gautama. And this is when he looked upon the morning star, after having a long, protracted period of meditation and zazen, and came to see his true nature after a long and fearsome spiritual struggle lasting many, many years, and saw into the nature of himself and the nature of reality, and began what we say turning the Dharma wheel, and began teaching. There's more to it. It's a longer and more interesting story, but that's enough for now, right? The main thing is to take up the fact that we actually recognize and appreciate our founding teacher's original awakening. And then also, by extension, in some way, I think it's useful to take some time to recognize the awakening of all the successive women and men through time who have had insight into that same heart of wisdom, whatever culture or era, century, language, whatever, doesn't matter. That same insight into the nature of ourselves is waiting for all of us, and it's there for us to discover and to find and to live from and to share and give away as much as we can. So it leads me to respond to a few questions that have come up about navigating Christmas and the holidays. Let's see. So Bodhi Day is, as it turns out, trees are really important in Buddhism. The Buddha, his mom reached up to grab branches of a tree while giving birth to support herself. He was born under a tree. He came to awakening under a tree, often taught underneath trees, etc. Trees happen all the time in Buddha's life. And it turns out that there's a custom of taking typically a ficus tree, but it can be any kind of tree, and putting colored lights on it, kind of like a Christmas tree. And that represents the different paths to enlightenment. Some traditions say it represents the different little points on Indra's net coming to awaken. Whatever, good stuff. A nice symbolic way of acknowledging the day. Sometimes people will put three very specific ornaments on the tree to represent the three jewels of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And all of these are nice practices, which you can do if you want, some or none of. It doesn't matter, really. But the question is, how do you find a way of navigating the Christmas season that fits for you and your family? That's the most important thing. So there's some families in the Sangha that have no problem at all when it comes time to go to Grandma's house or at their own house, have Santa as such and the presents and the whole thing. And that's just fine for them. It really doesn't present any point of angst or difficulty. And it can work seamlessly into their lives, and it's a nice thing for the family and the kids and something to bond around with the extended family, whatever, it's fine. And there's some people for whom that's not so. There's some people that feel very strongly that, or even kind of feel haltingly that, this whole thing about Santa's always watching you and rewards you, or, therefore punishes, and the whole commercialism of it and everything, and just sort of the tyranny of, go out and buy a bunch of stuff is a problem. And so there's some households in the Sangha that have over the years decided to just not participate in the whole Santa thing at all. And I think that it can work either way, or any variation in there, as long as it really sits right for the family and for the household. To me, I can see it working very well for some families to just go ahead and have the traditional thing, and some families to just opt out altogether, and gracefully so. Thank you very much. It's a family's call to make, I know for myself personally, what we did as a family is we just had the normative, especially when Isabella was young, And we still do this to, well, not that degree, but we go to my mom's house and we have a nice meal and all that kind of stuff. But when Isabella was young, sure, Santa came to Grandma's house and all the goodies were there and things to open and stuff like that, and it was fine. It wasn't any kind of a weirdness. It was kind of a really beautiful thing, really. It was lovely for our family. It was an extension of the tradition of the way that I grew up, and it worked out nice, And there was no great trauma in the way it worked out in our little trio here, mom, dad, and daughter. There was no great trauma when the truth of Santa became clear or anything like that. It was kind of a non-issue, and it's been fine. So that's kind of how we chose to handle it in our family. We always pull a tree into the farmhouse. We'll go out and get we really like the live trees, so we'll get a nice live tree at one of the local tree farms out there by the farm where we live, and it's great. We enjoy putting the decorations on it, and I can wrap it in my mind as, oh, it's a Bodhi tree, and that's fine. But I really don't. To me, it doesn't matter. It's just a nice thing to do. It's I think I actually relate to it a lot as the Yule log, and the winter is coming and the days are short and the night is long and it's cold, and the felt sense of bringing some nature in and putting pine. We put pine all the way around the inside of the house. It makes a nice, warm, cozy feeling. The pine that continues all the way through the winter time speaks to me, and so that's what we've done, and that's what we do. But it's not a matter of this is how it should be or this is what you must do. The big thing is for you and your household to do something that makes sense, and to do something that helps, frame whatever you do. If you've got kids in your life, you want to make sure that they have a sense of inclusion and a sense of celebration. And in our diverse culture that we live in today, whether some like it or not, it's a diverse culture that we live in, and Buddhists are one of them. So Bodhi Day and Bodhi lights on the Buddha tree, that's all fine. That works great, unless it doesn't, and you want to keep traditional, or if all of this stuff just goes completely down the wrong funnel for you and bah humbug, no thank you, that's fine too. The main thing is in our hearts. For me, anyway, the main thing is in our heart. It's a time to try to come together with family as much as possible, and sometimes it's not so possible. But as much as possible to come together with family and make a good connection feeling, to give our kids a sense of continuity of generation and some way of celebrating this turn of the season in a way that makes sense to everybody. And to make sure that in our own hearts we've got a loving and connected way of dealing with the fact that the nights are getting longer and the snow's actually coming and it's cold. See? And then, yes, if we want to wrap it around Christmas, or you want to wrap it around Bodhi Day, or you want to just think of it as a renewed pagan Yule log celebrating the seasons, it all works for me. Whatever whatever works for your family is the right move. See, so take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of the extended folks that you may be engaging with in this holiday time. Enjoy the company, enjoy the time, and be mindful of the fact that there are plenty of folks around for whom getting together with family is not an option. Having friendships to share is not in the cards for them. And let's try to keep all of them in our hearts, okay? So happy Bodhi Day, everybody. December 8th. Welcome.